Yeah, I wanted to put the baby up for adoption. And
Not for sale, but for adoption.
For adoption.
You're just ready to give it away.
There you go. Give it away, give it away, give it away now.
And why is that?
Because I don't think you realized how much a toll it was taking on you. I am pumped because we have a new president and vice president, and the vice president is my sister.
Yay!
Speaking of sisters, so our brother and sister-in-law, but might as well be our sister. They have two precious daughters, a 10-year-old and a 6-week-old. Now, 10 years, 6 weeks, there's a big difference, right? But our brother and sister have to find a way to show both of the children love in a way that's fitting to them. So for people out there that have more than one kid, you probably can relate.
You just choose the one that's your favorite. No, I'm just kidding.
That's like if somebody said to you, what's your favorite business?
Oh, the one that makes me the most profit.
So today we'll be talking about 2 at a time, how to run multiple businesses effectively. Before we get started, anything you want to share? Cool.
Well, I just want to thank all of our viewers on YouTube and BronxNet. And those of you on YouTube, please like, subscribe, hit the bell so you get notified when the new episodes come out. Leave a comment, leave questions, your thoughts, different topics you want us to discuss, or questions you have about, small business. We'll do our best to answer them from our perspective, from what we know from experience, not, just making something up like we're trying to sell you some super duper guru plan for $9.99. Yeah. So yeah, please subscribe, hit the bell on YouTube, hit the subscribe button, throw us some likes. We appreciate it. Share it, pass it on to your friends.
I want to especially thank Mike Blumenfeld. He's been showing us lots of love with the comments on YouTube.
Blew up the comment section.
Mike B, we love you. Can't wait till we can all get our COVID shots and we can mash up again, grab some food.
Yeah, you guys get the COVID shot. I'll just get in the bubble.
All right, you stay in the bubble,
yeah,
and we'll bubble it up. Chief, tell the people about your experience operating more than one business. How do you prioritize so that you can effectively and efficiently run both of our businesses?
I don't know if I have a true system. That's a good question. How do I prioritize? Sometimes it's whichever one has the biggest fires going on at the time. Yeah, that's a good question. It's a challenge. I kind of take it day by day. Luckily, we have a good team at our businesses. One team is a little stronger than the other.
I'll just say that they're different. I won't say one is stronger than the other.
What, teams?
Yeah.
Yeah, I am saying they are stronger because one team is newer, so they're still like getting into the swing of things at one of the businesses. So they're not as versed with all the policies and procedures. They're still getting into the mix. We've changed some things, but they're a good team.
Mm-hmm.
Just they're not as strong as the other team who has more experience. And then they're spending more time they've spent more time doing the different tasks and routines and projects that we do on a regular basis. So it's comparing apples and oranges. Mm-hmm. But, if I had to say, it was an apple-range, so the cross between an apple and a tangerine, like then I could kind of compare them, but it's two different things. And it's two different businesses too. So you gotta kind of look at them differently. So I try not to look at them the same. It's like having, two different children.
Yeah, it's like having
like a boy and a girl. Like you love them both. You treat them both. There's some things you do the same with both of them, but there's things you do differently. You raise a boy differently than you raise a girl.
Well, your mother had 2 boys.
Yeah, but then she had some other. I have some other siblings too.
Yeah, you do.
A sister.
Yeah, but at first it was
other
just
brothers.
The 2 of you. Ooh.
Yeah, it was just 2 of us at first.
So you
still raise boys different than you raise girls. Like your parents, you got a brother. So it was you and your brother. They didn't raise you the same way they raised him.
I wouldn't say they didn't raise me the same way. Like
it's different techniques for raising. Like they raised y'all to be good people, but it's a different technique for you than your brother, for Charles, because you're a girl. Like it's different. And even if you were both the same, gender, they still have to do a little different because of your personalities and who you are.
Okay, bring it back. So I would dare say that I used to get frustrated with my parents because at times it seemed like they favored my brother. And I guess now that I'm older and I've matured and I understand life a little better, it's not that they favored him. It's that they recognize that we needed different support from them.
Same thing with your businesses. They all need different things.
And not that they had a favorite, because my mother reminds me is she doesn't have a favorite child. She doesn't have a favorite niece or nephew.
She does have a favorite son-in-law, though.
Yeah, because she has only one son-in-law.
Thanks for bursting my bubble.
She does have a favorite son-in-law, though. But it's same with business. We don't necessarily have a favorite business. We have businesses where one at one point may need more than the other.
Yeah.
And so we just care for our businesses differently on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah, I have no favorite. It's just each one they each have different needs. Some of them are the same. And I look at them differently and approach them differently.
So like I've had people ask, why did you decide to start a brand new business when you were already knee deep in one business?
Because I'm a glutton for punishment. Psych. But sometimes I do feel I'm a glutton for punishment. So why did we start it? You said the second business?
Yes.
Well, it's a couple of reasons. One, I think it's because of legacy, because it's, second generation. The other part is creating, when you're growing businesses or you're growing a business, one key thing is to have different streams of revenue coming in. So then you can use those different streams of revenue to support the business or other endeavors in different ways. So I'd say the two top things were, legacy. I'd say the top couple things, not two things. The legacy, the fact is a community-based business serving the community, the multiple streams of income, and being able to provide additional jobs in the community in a different sector than we were already in. Okay.
And I would say community legacy was important. Streams of revenue definitely important. But I would say community was especially important because we were spending so much time in the Bronx where I grew up. And even though we live in Brooklyn, we weren't making the same impact in the community where we lived. And so the business gave us an opportunity to do that.
Oh, totally. And I'm always down for trying something new too. So somebody comes to me tomorrow and be like, hey, I got an idea for a new business. I'll be like, interesting. Tell me about it.
Wait, it's just are you the same person that was fussing me out earlier today?
I said a new business. I didn't say focusing on something different inside the existing business.
What's the difference?
It's totally different.
It's not. You're like, oh, shiny, sparkly thing over here. Thing that's going to make us money over here. Johnson, which one are you going to focus on?
It's starting another business is different than adding another product line or more service to existing business instead of focusing on what we already have. But I hear you. But it's still different. But go ahead.
So, yeah.
So what was your reasoning for wanting to start a second business?
Because I'm supportive.
That's it?
I'm a cheerleader. Yes.
Okay.
Why?
Right.
I thought it was only appropriate.
I got another business idea I want to talk to you about later then. That doesn't look like a very supportive face you're giving me right now. Did you say you're a cheerleader? You're supportive. Yay, Waleed, go.
Yeah.
Go team, go.
So I was going to ask you the next question before about how do you decide how you spend your time? Because right now you don't seem to have a lot of time. So how are you going to spend time in another business? Yeah, Waleed, go.
It depends. Who's to say I have to be a majority stakeholder in that business? I could just be an investor in that business. I could be just giving advice. I could be passively involved in it, not actively involved like I am with our current businesses. It could just be where, we put up some capital, give some advisory here, point in the right direction. Maybe we help with a few things there, but it's not a day-to-day thing we're involved in. Mm-hmm. Could be in that capacity.
Okay.
Who knows? Maybe, I only have to go couple days a month.
But still, okay. So let's go back.
It's still work though. It ain't passive.
Let's go back to, we talked about prioritizing. and how to operate and prioritize so that you're efficient in the business.
Yeah,
and you talked about setting up systems.
yeah, there's systems. Like, thank goodness, like we have a good system and process at the soapbox. So it's allowed me to remove myself. Like, what, before I was at the soapbox for like 4 days a week.
No,
5.
no,
How many?
7.
Well, but there were some days I didn't come to the office. I would just be there, and then I would go there sometime after here or before I came here. So let's just say like 5.5 days. Okay. But the days I'm saying I would go there, like the 4 days, I'll be there all day. But there's been times I would go there 7 days a week, but I wasn't spending the full amount of time there as I was other times. So, because of the systems that are there now, and plus we've changed the business model a couple of times, so it allows the business to be a lot more self-sufficient. And we have good team members there also who are very reliable, attendance-wise as well as work-wise, and they communicate well. So they keep me abreast of things also. And then, too, we leverage technology a lot. So they'll call me with something going on at the store, and I can log into the store from wherever I am on my phone or computer and see what's going on the different platforms to correct the issue or, to give guidance or whatever they might need at the moment. But it still doesn't remove me totally from the business, because basically now I'm working on the business versus where before I was in the business, like fixing machines and doing all kinds of stuff. And there, like you said, 6-7 days a week. Yeah. So, I don't have a true system to say how I prioritize it. I kind of look at it in chunks, like what needs to be done, what's the next thing that's going on with each business.
Right.
And then how do I divvy up my time between those chunks of projects or activities that are going on between the two businesses. And some aspects of the businesses I can do both from one place. So like the whole social media piece, when it comes to managing the technology piece, or, we're updating some of the systems, I can do that remotely. I don't physically have to be in the store.
Right.
Based on especially on our new model now, marketing and outreach. The only bad thing is sometimes I feel like I'm not as connected to the store as I was before, because I was spending so much more time there. So I knew the customer base a lot better than I do now.
Right.
But the model we have now doesn't allow for as much interaction as we did before we switched the model from more of a self-service model to the where we perform the service for our clients model.
Well, I'm going to take a 2-step and take a step back, right? Because people out in commerce and chill land may be trying to understand, how does this conversation even apply to me? Like, I may not have a business, or I may just have one business, and you all are talking about 2 businesses.
Or they got a job and thinking about starting a business.
Right. So as we talk about our 2 entities,
or they do that already,
you can compare how you trying to start a business while you yet have a business. So you have one thing that's pulling your attention here, and then your own thing that's pulling attention to the other side. And our 2 businesses might represent something similar to what you're facing in your life. Keep in mind that there are 2 of us, so we can divide and conquer, ideally. That there are some areas where you're stronger, Waleed, and you take the lead, both at the Soapbox and here at JSB. And then there are other areas where I'm stronger 100%. And I take the lead.
And I'm like, please take this off.
Not just here at JSB, but also at the Soapbox. So we may be the respective faces for the individual brands, but behind the scenes, we're always working together in tandem. So a couple of takeaways is, number 1, get you a team, even if it's just one person, or if you have to pay for it, get someone that is strong in the areas where you're not strong, if you're trying to juggle multiple enterprises at the same time. Number 2 is create systems. We spent a lot of time in the first years at the Soapbox putting together a system. So putting together our manuals of how things were expected to be done, training our employees on the right way to service our customers,
documentation,
and then building upon those systems to move and evolve the business model to what it is now, where it's pick up and delivery or walk in, but we don't have the machines turning in our building. And then 3, prioritizing. I'm a little better at this than Waleed is.
100%.
Because I really like to organize and plan my day, organize and plan my weeks. So I'm not running roughshod all week long. And I'll literally will sit down on Sunday and think through the whole week. And what I'm trying to get better about is planning not just for a week at a time, but planning for several months at a time. What is that, the 12-week plan?
I don't know.
I'm not quite doing that.
I'm still on a 12-minute plan.
I'm not quite doing that, but being very intentional about how I spend my time, how I spend my days. And so my time is used more effectively. And so that can help to balance Waleed, who is more run and gun, and
100%.
for the life of him refuses to organize his.
Oh, I'm so organized in my head, but I'm
head.
just not.
But he doesn't write it down.
I write down the top 5 things I need to do.
And then he gets to point 2, he gets lost. And some of you might be able to relate to that.
Lost. I don't know if I get lost. I start getting phone calls and other stuff happening, and I'm just like, all right, here we go. And then I'm on sub item 3.12 because it just happens.
The universe is respectful for how you intend to spend your time.
Oh.
So if you write down how you plan to spend your time, the universe will usually fall in line with that.
Yeah, it does. But
if you don't write it down, then the universe is like, hey, this one here don't care.
Yeah.
Let me throw a little.
I do write it down.
Let me throw a little
but then
detour.
somebody else's universe collides into my universe, and I need to fix that. So it's part of it. So part of one of my bullet points from now on, I'll have 6 of them. It'd be called Murphy's Law. I'll put that on my agenda for every day, and that'll be the time I'll put aside for when stuff goes wrong. That's it. There's nothing you can do about it. It's part of life. It's part of business. Things happen. They come up. We just have to adjust.
Got it. So how do you adjust when there are emergencies at both businesses?
Listen, delegate, and then get involved where you can and fix what you can. There are some emergencies that happen in 2 businesses. I can't be at 2 places at one time. I wish I could. I just can't. So we had an issue with a client at one site, and it was best that we actually went over there. And I think we were there for 2-3 hours. That was not on my list of things to do that day, but it happened because they called and said, we got an incident here, and we had to drop everything and we had to go over there and sit down with them for 2-3 hours, make it right, smooth it out. We talked about it in a previous episode. I've posted about it before, trying to fix the issues when they happen as fast as possible, because people are going to remember how you made them feel when something went wrong. Right. So something goes wrong, they're going to be upset about it, but at the end of the day, they're going to remember how you took care of them, how you made them feel. And that's one of the things they said. We was like, wow, they were like, wow, we really appreciate that you guys, came over here so quickly. When we could have just been like, yeah, send a manager over there or whatever. Yeah, we probably could have done that, and it probably would have been okay, but it wouldn't have been the best thing to do. It probably wouldn't have made the client feel like we really care about their business. Yeah.
The other side of that is if you have a team or if you have a support system or even if you have vendors that you work with, you have to be able to trust that they can fill the gaps, right? So you don't want somebody on the payroll just because they're family.
No.
You don't want somebody on the payroll just so that they don't go to unemployment, right? You want people on your payroll or supporting you in your business infrastructure that can help you get stuff done. That even if they can't do everything that you do, that they're open to learning different things so that they can step in, and that they have enough gray matter up here to be able to process through how to address different situations. And when you're able to get in, you jump in. But trusting your team, trusting your support system is critical to running multiple businesses effectively.
So when those emergencies happen, and we do get not a few like DEFCON 5 emergencies, but you get enough on the scale of DEFCON 1 through 5 that can kind of add up and be very stressful, and it can take a toll on you mentally. So we've dealt with quite a few throughout our time through multiple businesses. Has there ever been a time because of all that, or just in general, where you were like, maybe I just want to sell?
Yeah, I can't even lie. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I wanted to put the baby up for adoption. And
not for sale, but for adoption.
For adoption.
You're just ready to give it away.
There you go. Give it away, give it away, give it away now.
And why is that?
Because I don't think you realized how much a toll it was taking on you. Not so much for me, but it was all encompassing for you. Like,
Oh yeah.
and you were all in your feelings. You weren't getting no sleep. You were frustrated with the employees. You were frustrated with the clients, and you were so tired that you couldn't think clearly. And because you couldn't think clearly, you couldn't address the challenges from a firm footing.
Mm-hmm.
And so, not even for me, but for you, I was like, bump this. Like, we'll still eat. We'll still have a roof
We'll
over
figure
our
out.
head.
We'll always
We'll
make
figure
a way.
it out. Give the baby back.
It'd just be doing something else.
Give the baby away.
It'd probably be another business.
Put the baby up for adoption. So it wasn't even about me. It was about you.
Okay. That's right.
What about you?
What, has there been times where I wanted to sell?
Yes.
I'm going to say yes and no. Like I might have felt like that in the moment because of like something was like really like aggravating, like compounding. And like one thing is like, it's an issue. Like, and I hear everybody talk about it. Always finding good team members. Mm-hmm. And like, we're blessed. Mm-hmm. Our core staff, our core team members, super awesome. There are some extended team members I would like to become. They don't even have to be super awesome. They could just be good to awesome. But on the most part, I would say probably like, maybe like 73% of the team is on the good side. But a lot of times that smaller portion is the one that becomes the most taxing. Was like the 80-20 rule. So it's like that 20%, even though the 80-20 rule is, 20% of like your whatever comes from 80, like 20% of your
80%
of your revenue comes from 20%.
Yeah.
So like 80% of my headaches come from like 20% of our team members who are just not like meeting the standard.
Okay.
Right? Where the other 80% of our team members are like, they're making it happen. But 80% of my headaches comes from 20% of the population. And that's if we merged all the businesses together, saying that, 20%. I'd say, that was the thing, because people is the one thing, like, if someone said, hey, the client complains and says, Waleed, you know what? I hate the way my clothes smell when you deliver the product. If we use a soapbox example, I'm like, cool. All right, use this temperature water. Switch up the products that we wash, the detergent we use, and then use this type of fabric softener or whatever. Or my whites aren't bright enough. No problem. Switch from this bleach or use this type of non-chlorine whitener and do that. But if someone is like, oh, your driver is horrible, like they don't have manners, or they never say good morning or good evening when they come, or good afternoon, like I can train that person. I can sit down and coach them and have training sessions and do workshops. But if they internally choose not to do it, even though you show them, I have no control over that.
Right.
And that can be very, very stressful. When people are your product, it's very, very stressful when they're not delivering the service, aka your product, the way it's supposed to be, the way that it's intended to be. So if I have guard A there today and they deliver a stellar product, and then they're off on Fridays, and then guard B comes in on Friday and they're just like, yeah, good morning, welcome to the front desk, how can I help you? Like, people are going to be like, whoa, like those people saw one type of service on, Thursday, and then Friday they see something different. So it's very stressful to get some individuals to
where they need to be.
Yeah.
So we want to save the people in Commerce and Chill Land some of the stress. Tell me, what is the most enjoyable part about running the businesses that we run?
Ooh, the people. Like, for real, to me, like having fun and like, listen, you're in business to make money. Don't get me wrong. Like, money is important, but to me, money is a tool. Money is like the lubricant or the fuel that makes our engine go. But without the people, none of that means anything. Like, this room could be full of money, right? Legally earned money. But if I don't have a good team to reinvest it in or to do other projects with, the money to me means nothing.
Right.
Like, to me, it's no fun being rich by yourself. I want to be rich with everybody on my team. So when we decide to go down to, I don't know, Turks and Caicos. This time we could fly on my jet. The next time we could fly on Volquez's jet. The next time we go on Espinosa's jet. Then the next time we go on Hamlet's
boat.
On his yacht.
On his
like,
yachts.
because it's fun when you do it together. Like, to me, it sucks. Like, I don't want to, like, all I need is for a good team and for us to execute. That's the best part about being in business. Working with good people, touching good people. Like, come on. How many people have you ever given a job to who really needed it? And then it made a difference in their life, and like it was like a turning point for them, or it just helped them. Like, not how many people have you, like,
a lot,
right? And then you see them later on, whether they're still at the firm or they've exited the firm on good terms or what have you, and then they come back and say, hey, thanks. Like, you can't put a dollar amount on that. You can't measure that. That feeling and experience is.
That reminds me of the quote that we selected for today's episode by Seth Godin. There's no shortage of remarkable ideas. What's missing is the will to execute them. So we know you have ideas out there. So we encourage you to start. Just get started. Start that business, even if you're yet working. Or if you have somebody that'll help you, start a second business, start a new product line, and see how far that takes you. It also reminds me of a statistic. The established business ownership rate, which refers to the percentage of 18 to 64-year-olds who are currently owner-managers of an established business, that is, one that's owning and managing an active business that has paid salaries, wages, or any other payments to the owners for more than 42 months. In 2019, that figure was 10.6%. As you probably heard me talk about in the past, the number of jobs is going down. COVID has helped to decimate not only industries, but whole companies and some countries. And so if you're waiting to get a job with someone else, that job might not appear. You might just be better off starting a business or growing a business that you have. So you don't want to be like us and have multiple businesses. It's cool. But take those ideas, execute, and start doing something. Chief, is there anything that you want to add for the folks in Commerce and Chill Land?
I think you summed it up.
So start your business, get your business, create systems. It's easier if you create those systems early on. Prioritize how you spend your time and write down how you plan to spend your time. If you have a team, be sure to delegate, get involved where you can, fix what you can, let others help where they can. And then think about what change or impact you want to make, whether it's legacy, community, jobs, different streams of revenue, or just because you're bored.
For
real. But don't just sit there. Do something. Might not be like us, but be the best you could be through a business or two or three.
Or through your job. Treat your job like a business. That is a mistake most people make.
That's a whole nother episode.
It is. That might be an episode right there. Treat your job like a business. We'll make note of that for future episodes. But treat your job like it's your business. That's it. Because technically your job is your business.